There is way more going on in Pittsburgh right now than most people realize. And the more you dig into it, the more impressive it becomes. On the surface, it looks like the Steelers are just making routine coaching hires and quietly filling out their staff. But once you zoom out and connect the dots, it becomes clear this offseason has been anything but routine. In fact, some of these moves are borderline genius. The Steelers have made multiple new additions recently, including one major move that's already fired up the fan base. But what's even more exciting is that several of these decisions look significantly better now than they did when they were first announced. There are layers to this offseason that people simply aren't talking about enough. And today, we're breaking down exactly why these moves matter, what they signal about the future, and how Pittsburgh may finally be changing its culture for good. We'll also get into other updates surrounding free agency, roster questions, and the direction this team seems to be heading. The Super Bowl is just a couple of days away, but even with the league's biggest game looming, the Steelers continue to stay active, finalizing their coaching staff while beginning to explore potential wide receiver additions and other key needs. Before we dive in, quick reminder, we're officially on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and we're getting dangerously close. We're only a couple hundred away, so if you enjoy Steelers coverage and want to support the channel, hitting that subscribe button would mean the world. All right, let's get into it. If you've been following the channel closely, you already know the Steelers have been busy this offseason. But some of their most recent moves flew completely under the radar, and honestly, they shouldn't have. Let's start with one of the quieter but more intriguing additions. According to NFL and CBS sources, the Steelers are expected to hire Darius Swinton II as a senior special teams assistant coach. Swinton is coming to Pittsburgh after spending 3 seasons in Las Vegas, where he worked under 3 different head coaches. On the surface, this might not seem like a headline-grabbing hire, and I'll be the first to admit I wasn't extremely familiar with Swinton when the news first broke. But once you actually look into his background, talk to fans of other teams, and see how players around the league view him, this move becomes far more exciting. Swinton is widely respected in NFL circles, especially for his ability to connect with players and improve special teams fundamentals, something that matters a lot more than people realize. This hire also comes after the departure of longtime special teams coordinator Danny Smith, who had been one of the best in the league for years. Smith's exit left some fans understandably concerned, but instead of cutting corners, the Steelers doubled down. They hired a new coordinator, and now they're reinforcing that unit with an experienced assistant. That alone tells you something has changed. But Swinton isn't the only addition. The Steelers are also expected to hire Eric Simonelli, currently an assistant linebackers coach at TCU. Before his time in college football, Simonelli worked under Mike McCarthy with the Dallas Cowboys as a quality control coach and head coaching assistant. Now he's likely reuniting with McCarthy in Pittsburgh. This is important, not just because of familiarity, but because it shows McCarthy is intentionally surrounding himself with people he trusts while still bringing in fresh perspectives. Simonelli has experience at both the NFL and college levels, which is especially valuable when you're developing younger players and bridging the gap between raw talent and pro readiness. And the coaching additions don't stop there. Pittsburgh is also expected to name CJU, the outside linebackers coach from Texas Tech, as their new OLB's coach. For a while, many people assumed Shanahan Howe would take on that role. Instead, CJU appears to have jumped ahead, and for good reason. CJU worked closely this past season with players like David Bailey and Romulo Height, and from everyone I've talked to, he's considered one of those fast-rising, highly respected coaches in the college ranks. He's young, motivated, and hungry, and that matters. Now, when you put all of these hires together, a pattern starts to emerge. For years under Mike Tomlin, the Steelers operated with one of the smallest on-field coaching staffs in the NFL. That doesn't mean they lacked quality coaches, but roles weren't always clearly defined, and the staff remained relatively compact. Last season, Pittsburgh entered the year with just 19 on-field coaches, the fewest in the league. That era is officially over. Under Mike McCarthy, the Steelers are clearly moving in a different direction. With the hires already confirmed, and more expected, Pittsburgh is set to blow past that number. And this isn't about adding coaches just to add them. This is about specialization, development, and modernization. They're assigning clearer roles. They're bringing in assistants to support assistants. They're investing in teaching, development, and adaptability. Things that winning teams around the league have embraced for years. Of course, not everyone agrees that these changes represent upgrades across the board. Some analysts have suggested the Steelers improved offensively, but downgraded at certain position groups: running back, defensive line, outside linebacker, defensive back, and even special teams. Personally, I think that assessment misses the bigger picture. Let's start with special teams. Yes, losing Danny Smith is significant. He's one of the best special teams coaches in NFL history and has been doing this at a high level for decades. But that doesn't automatically mean the unit takes a step back. Danny Crossman brings experience, and Pittsburgh already has a strong foundation with elite contributors like Ben Skowronek, who's a Pro Bowl-level special teams player. There's a very real scenario where this unit remains strong, or even improves, with added support and fresh ideas. The same logic applies to other positions. Take the hiring of former coordinators as position coaches. For example, bringing in Joe Woods Jr. as an assistant head coach raised some eyebrows. But just because someone struggled as a coordinator doesn't mean they're ineffective as a teacher. In fact, Woods has a solid track record developing defensive backs, and that's incredibly relevant for a Steelers team that's counting on young corners like Joey Porter Jr., while also seeing a resurgence from players like James Pierre. Add in the potential return of Asante Samuel Jr., and suddenly that hire makes a lot of sense. When you step back and look at the full picture, this offseason feels different. The Steelers are finally turning the page. They're pulling coaches from across the NFL and college football. They're blending experience with youth. They're adding energy, hunger, and adaptability to a staff that desperately needed it. That doesn't mean all the work is done. The offense still has major questions. Quarterback remains the biggest one, and that situation could extend into the draft or even beyond it. Running back is another area to watch closely, whether that means re-signing Kenny Gainwell, letting him walk, or exploring alternatives like Rico Dowdle. And wide receiver depth is absolutely on the radar as well. But what is clear is this: the foundation is changing. The Steelers aren't standing still anymore. They're evolving, they're modernizing, and they're attacking weaknesses head-on, something fans have been begging for years. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. How do you feel about the coaching additions? Do you think the Steelers upgraded or downgraded overall? And what move do you want to see next? Quarterback, wide receiver, or something else entirely? We'll be pivoting soon to wide receivers and other potential additions, so make sure you're subscribed and locked in. Appreciate you guys as always, and I'll see you in the next one.